Hello everyone, let's solve a problem from GATE 2011 Aerospace Engineering paper question number 3. This is the question from maxima and minima from the topic of calculus and mathematics. The function is given and the function has a 3 coordinate system in x1, x2 and x3, and the function is x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square minus 2x1 minus 4x2 minus 6x3 plus 14 has its minimum value at dash. So we have to find the partial differential of this function with respect to x1, x2 and x3 independently, and then equate each of them to 0, and then we will get values of x1 and x2, x3 for each of those three equations. Okay, so that's what the minimum value for this function. Let's go and solve the problem. So the function that's been given to us is f of x1, x2, x3 is x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square minus 2x1 minus 4x2 minus 6x3 plus 14. Okay, so now let's just differentiate each of them in this function with respect to x1, x2, x3 separately. First with respect to with respect to x1, so equating this to 0, we will get, differentiating this function with respect to x1, we will get 2x1, so this term will go to 0 plus 0 plus 0 minus 2 into 1 minus 0 plus 0, right? So then we will get 2x1 is equal to 2, our x1 will become 1, right? This is the value of x1, minimum value of x1 for this function, right? Now let's go and do this for x2. Dou f by dou x2, equating this to 0, we will get, so I'll just write the x2 terms alone, so that we will get 2x2 minus 4 equal to 0. So which will give us 2x2 is equal to 4, which will give us x2 is equal to 2, right? So now differentiating the function with respect to x3, then we will get 2x3 minus 6 is equal to 0, then we will get x3 would be 3. Okay, so the value of minimum for this function would be 1, 2 and 3. Okay, x1 equal to 1, x2 is equal to 2 and x3 is equal to 3. Let's go to the options and see whether we have this option in the options given in the question. So if we have option A to be 1, 2 and 3, that is the correct answer, right? So if you want to know more about maxima and minima, you can refer to the NPTEL course Basic Calculus for Engineers, Scientists and Economists by Professor Joydeep Datta, and the particular lecture for this question is lecture 10, which is maxima and minima, and you can also see the YouTube link for the particular lecture here. So that's all for this question. Thank you.